How y'all doing? This is Greg again. Um, so I want to kind of speak on this Trump situation, where obviously it's very upsetting to a lot of Americans, or I guess a very joyous day for certain Americans if you, depending on what side of the aisle you're on. But I think the majority, though, regardless of what your political beliefs are, kind of sees this trial for what it is, which was a political attack on Trump. It's despicable, it's bad, and it's kind of sad because you can't really trust the judicial system. There's a lot of bad judges, a lot of bad prosecutors, a lot of bad people in the government, and it's made perfectly clear in this Trump trial, and honestly all throughout Trump's presidency, that anybody that tries to do right for Americans um, is going to get attacked, is going to get vilified, is going to get, anybody who's fighting globalism is going to get attacked. They're doing the same thing to Alex Jones on not even a smaller scale, but he's just a smaller figure. But, it sounds like he's going to get his studio shut down. And honestly, for me, that's probably a bigger tragedy because Alex Jones is the one that woke me up. So, politically anyway. Um, I've been following him since basically after 9/11, so I've been following for can't believe 20, over 20 years. And, I can't really imagine the political realm without InfoWars, but looks like we're going to have to face that. And that's really sad, and I feel bad for him, and hopefully he's able to bounce back, or hopefully he's able to fight this latest attack off. But again, as far as Trump goes, it sucks that he got arrested, but I do think he's going to win. But, when I first saw the ruling, I had an emotional reaction to it. But I have to say that, for me as a Christian conservative, I know Trump is going to do well overseas. That was probably the best thing he did was solve the wars and rebuild the military. That's probably the best thing he did was kind of bring peace overseas. But domestically, excuse me, I have to be honest. I feel like it was kind of disappointing. Other than the economy was good, so I'm not mad about that. And like I said, the foreign policy stuff, the way he kind of went at China was good. I wish he would have did more with the UN and all those global committees that we're in. I wish he would have pulled out more, but overall he did really good. And honestly, let me say this: considering that I grew up in the era of Clinton, Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, Trump is the best president I've seen. So let me just get that out the way before I say what I say. With that said, I say this because I'm not really worried about the presidency. I think Trump is going to win my state, and I think Trump is going to win the general election. But I have some concerns because, he campaigned on locking up Hillary, campaigned on the wall, and campaigned on, and he was he came out like a big pro-lifer on his first term, and it just seems like we wouldn't be in this situation, in my opinion, if he would have just picked better people, pick better people that would have been on board with his agenda instead of picking people like Bill Barr's your AG who hates you and is a neocon and is not on board, or like your vice president Mike Pence. Like, you're picking people. You got to pick people who are like have your agenda and want to do the same things you want to do. You can't pick people who are like not forward and are fighting you and all this other stuff, and then when things go wrong, you're like wondering why things are going wrong or whatever. So if people aren't like for your agenda, you gotta pick people who are like thoroughly for your agenda, dude. I don't see Biden picking people who are, conservative or fighting what you want to do. Everybody's kind of lockstep in, regardless of whether you agree with Biden or not. I know I don't, but at least his staff does what he wants, does the same things he wants them to do. And I really think that Trump's going to pretty much repeat the same mistakes as far as trying to pick like certain people just to appease a certain crowd instead of picking people who are diehard in the wool for his agenda. And when he does that, I think it's going to cause problems. I mean, I think he's going to fight, but again, he's going to be kind of like fighting himself because he's going against his own staff. I hope that's not the case. I really do hope he picks a better people, but I'm just confused on why he even did it the first time. I'm confused why the wall didn't get put up the first time. I'm confused on why, these things weren't done the first time. So, I mean, I know he has certain people fighting him, but he put some of these people, like I was watching a debate between Chris Cuomo and some guy on the PED podcast, some comedian, and I remember how this comedian, who's obviously going to vote for Trump, I think his name is Dave Smith, he was saying basically what he was trying to do, he was trying to make it seem like Trump was like against the vaccines. And Chris Cuomo had to remind them, like, oh no, he actually was the reason why we had the vaccines, or we got pushed as quickly as he did. And this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Like, I feel like people kind of think a certain way politically, and they project that on Trump, and Trump doesn't exactly think that way. Like, I bet you if you kind of polled Trump voters on if Trump was a pro-lifer, they'd probably say, most of them would probably say yes, but he's not. He pretty much kind of went against Arizona when they wanted to punish people for killing their children. And I thought that was crazy, because at first Trump was going to pro-life rallies and saying that he was going to repeal Roe v. Wade, which he did, which the Supreme Court justice that he picked did. And, that was good. But now that Roe v. Wade is passed and, states are deciding, and states are actually trying to punish women for killing their babies, he's, got this big problem with it. And it's like, dude, were you not pro-life or not? What did you think we were going to do if we were given that power? You don't have a problem with pro-choicers killing their kids and whatnot, but you're going to come at pro-lifers for wanting their not to be murdered in the womb. So that plus the vaccines, plus I'm not sure about, like I said, the staff he's going to pick. And just him kind of going away from his base of people that got him elected. It's just I'm very, very, very concerned about this whole situation, voting for him. And I mean, I know he'll do well on certain points, like I already said, but On other things that are very important to me, I don't know if he's gonna do what he said he's gonna do. And it's one thing when the guy that you didn't vote for is like screwing up the country, but when you vote for somebody and they disappoint you, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could take that right now. So I don't know if I'm gonna vote for Trump, man. Probably won't, to be honest. Like I'll probably vote third party or not vote. I voted for him in 2016. I voted for him in 2020, but even when he was, even with him getting convicted, like this stuff could have been avoided if he was to lock up Hillary, go after these judges. Maybe he'll do it this time, but again, it's like a big hope. We don't know if he's gonna do it. He may make a deal again, or try to make a deal like he was trying to do all his first term. And again, his people don't want deals, but he wants to. He's just like I said, man. He's just thinking a little different than like most MAGA people, and most MAGA people don't see it now. But like I said, I feel like he's gonna be like a real. They're gonna be very disappointed in some of the things that he tries to do. You had the opportunity to go after Hillary Clinton. You didn't do it. The wall thing was different. I think he would have tried to build the wall, but obviously the Republicans weren't really trying to support him. But I don't know, man. I feel like I'm very, very concerned that it's just not going to be what we think it's going to be. He'll do some things, but he's not going to do what we think he's going to do. So honestly, I'm probably not going to vote this time. Mainly because he's come out as a pro-choicer and he doesn't really respect pro-lifers. I'm not for killing children. So that's, something that I'm just not going to tolerate. And again, we disagree on the vaccines. I'm not going to go into super detail about it, but you put him out there, he still defends them. I don't defend them. So, that's, again, something that I have an issue with. And he hasn't changed, man. He hasn't changed his stances on any of these positions. He's changed his stance maybe on his pro-life stance. I probably won't catch him at another pro-life rally, but on the other stuff, he hasn't changed. So I think he's just going to kind of keep doing the same things he was doing, which was okay, but it's not good enough for me. So that's pretty much where I'm coming from. So many people talking for him, trying to project their ideas on him, and he's not that type of guy that they're trying to make him out to be. And I'm tired of waiting for him to do things or feel a certain way about certain things or whatever. And he makes excuses, dude. For example, he's supporting Mike Johnson. When Mike Johnson pretty much screwed Congress and put in those stupid bills with Ukraine and Israel or whatever, and he's still defending him, dude. Nobody cares. Mike Johnson obviously is a traitor to the cause, and he's still defending him, dude. And it's just it's going to be the same thing, and I'm just tired of it. Hyping up all these guys that obviously are not America First politicians. So, it's been 4 years and you're still defending certain people, whatever, so I'm tired of it, man. So I can't do it. I can't do it no more. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Probably not going to vote for him. I hope he wins, but I can't vote for him. That's pretty much how I feel about it. All right. Y'all have a good day.